This is Just AMZN on Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. And the gap that looked like was going to happen did not. We opened a little bit up and just came tumbling back down, had a really big bearish candle, bearish engulfing candle. On the 5-minute, you can see we made a really clean triangle. I went ahead and drew in some lines here. So the green line as the highs and the purple line on the lows. On the stock, these lines lined up really well with the lines on the put. So I went ahead and drew them in, obviously opposite. So I got the purple on top and the green on the bottom. And then I just went ahead and drew in some lines on the call that kind of lined up with where these highs were. But the green line here doesn't match up with the green line here. We didn't get back up into this resistance here. And then the purple line I just drew in just to kind of catch these lows. But if I were to line this up with the low here and over here, we're cutting into like a retest, and we didn't even get a retest that came up very high. There was a tiny bit of bullishness here, a little bit of, some people buying, looking for this to bounce. It bounced over here. Maybe it would bounce here. It didn't and just rolled over. But this didn't really look like a clean triangle. If you look at the red line here, this kind of lines up with where we drop down into. This is that lower range of the resistance zone. And if I zoom out, let me get this set up. Let me switch over to hourly. There we go. So here's that resistance zone we drew in the other day. So we're now dropping below that resistance zone. So it's working. The resistance zone is working. If I switch on, I gotta get some practice with this. If I switch on extended hours, you can see, yeah, we definitely, poked up above it, and then we opened back down below it today. So it's just cleaner to look at this without the extended hours, especially since those values didn't really, or those levels didn't really play out. But this now, what we're looking at now on the hourly, let me get the drawing tool out, looks a lot more like a pretty clean double top in here. And so if we get a little bit more of a retest, maybe like a little flag here for Thursday and a continuation down, we could come back down to 31.25 or something. On Friday. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm trying that a little further ahead. So if we get a flag, let's say we get a flag Thursday, retest a little bit and start to drop a little bit more, that could still happen. On Friday, it could happen into Monday. We could chop down a little bit, but we went really quickly up. So there's not really anything to slow us down going down. Let's see, there's a bit of an angle there. Okay. Maybe that lines up, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, obviously, how it's going to move. I thought we were going to get some bullishness and stay bullish. I thought we were going to hold this level. This was really nice how we retested here and then retested here again this morning. And then again, looking at these candles, really nice hammer, high wave candle, totally broke down and continued lower. So even looking at the hourly, it was a really clean day to continue on bearish. Let's see, at the 30-minute. So even less bullishness here. So that hammer doesn't look as clean of a hammer. Really clean high wave candle. This is kind of a hammer, and we just continue lower. Took out the low. This is still within this triangle that I drew in the 5-minute. Total breakdown. So this would have been a really good indication. High wave candle here, and already was going ahead to break down. So switching back and forth between time frames can be really helpful to start to see some things like that. And so if this is something you were looking at, let me zoom back out. And so as this was getting ready to break down, as it was breaking the purple line, you were probably already missing the entry here. But that also lining up with kind of an apex point here. This is the open price we drew the other day, the 975 price from, what was that, Monday? So that was the Monday open. That level has played out I guess not as well yesterday as I thought. Um, but it played out during the day on Monday, and then it came back into play as really a pretty clean support area here on the put. Um, so really, you could have been buying at 975. Did it get down there? No, I guess it got down to 1005. That was pretty close. It was down around 930 was a little over here. So even getting into this, like setting something up 10 by 9 in this range, or 1050 by 950, or even 1025 by 925, get a little bit below that. I mean, all of it is still really close to that low. But that would have been a really great, I mean, as this is coming down, putting in some lower highs here, as this is putting in some higher lows, getting really, really a tight range here right up against the 21. The overall direction is bearish from the movement back down. And I was saying yesterday, buy the dip. And so, I thought buying here was great, and buying here could have worked. Those are a couple times to buy, and it would have worked here for a few hours. Did not work here, but this was already triggering bearish. So would have been good to just take this bearish. You have a little bit of the stair step here that continues lower. Probably would have needed to switch to a different put just because you can't get the $100 risk to reward. It didn't quite come back down to retest this line either, but then it was off to races and just continued to run up. Let's see. I haven't looked at any puts further out. Let's just look at 3150 and see what value. Yeah, so that had really light volume earlier. Had this move. These are still really large candles here. All of these are, we would have had to have a $2 risk. Almost comes down to that high. That's a really nice retest of really this area, but still not really a clean low level. This is probably your best one, like getting in this candle, just buying at 9, looking for that to continue bearish with a stop down at 8, and would have worked. But again, you're doing that on the fly, and if you miss $9, it didn't come back to that. It was already rolling. I don't want to go so much further out. I mean, you could have had a better risk with the 3100. That's even further away, obviously. This had nice range candles. Actually, this one was still 85 cents or $85. Sorry. But that would have worked buying at 4 and a stop down at 3, and that would have gone to 10R. So not to say that I mean, I would not have gotten that game. I would not have traded this one. So yeah, had some really good bearishness. We'll see if we get any more move back up, if we can retest back up to this apex and roll over. That's if more bearishness is coming in. But we have to wait and see if it'll continue lower. Right before earnings, it could do anything. And it could do anything on earnings too. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.